Ambassador William Grant sat at the big table. He was tired. For 3 months he had talked with the 7 alien leaders of the Galactic Council. His head hurt, and he was losing hope. The room was large and fancy. The walls glowed with soft, blue light. At the table, 7 different alien species sat across from the 5 humans. William looked at his team. They all looked tired too. This is getting us nowhere, he thought. He stood up slowly. His black suit was neat, his gray hair combed back. At 54 he was not old, but these talks had aged him. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored members of the council, he said in a clear voice. For 97 days we have listened to your demands. For 97 days we have changed our requests. For 97 days we have been patient. The alien called Zool moved her clear, wing-like arms in a way that showed she did not care. She was tall and thin with skin that looked like blue glass. Her 4 eyes blinked at different times. You must understand, Ambassador Grant, she said. Her voice came through the translator as smooth and cold. Your species only just learned to travel faster than light. The rules for joining our galactic community have been the same for thousands of years. The other aliens nodded. There was Krell, a green alien with 6 arms. Next to him sat Dorax, who looked like a big rock with eyes. The other 4 aliens all looked different from each other. William took a deep breath. He had tried for so long to make this work. Earth needed friends in space. But not like this. Not as second-class citizens. Perhaps, he said, we are not ready to join on your terms. The room got very quiet. The United Earth Federation is ending these talks. We will go home now. The aliens all started talking at once. Their voices mixed together as the translators tried to keep up. Some stood up. Some waved arms or tentacles. One made a high-pitched sound that hurt the human's ears. You cannot do this, shouted Krell. No one walks away from the council, said another alien. William didn't answer. He closed his data tablet. With a click. He nodded to his team. They all stood up together. Mary Wong, Earth's top scientist, picked up her notes. Ben Lee, the military advisor, stood tall and straight. Samantha Cooper, the trade expert, closed her computer. John Carter, William's assistant, gathered their things. This meeting is over, William said. If you wish to speak to us again, you will treat Earth as an equal. The human team walked to the big doors at the end of the room. The aliens were still shouting. Some were talking quickly to each other. A few were using their communication devices to call their home worlds. As the humans reached the door, Zool called out, If you leave, there will be problems. You need our protection. William turned around one last time. We will protect ourselves, he said. The humans walked through the door and down the long hall. Their steps echoed on the shiny floor. None of them spoke until they reached their ship. Once inside, Mary let out a long breath. Do you think we did the right thing? William looked out the window at the space station where they had spent the last 3 months. It hung in space like a giant wheel, lights blinking along its edge. Yes, he said. For the first time since we met the aliens, we acted like equals instead of beggars. Ben looked at his watch. The president will want our report right away. Tell the pilot to take us home, William said. It's time Earth stood on its own. As their ship pulled away from the station. Alarms were already going off inside the council chambers. No species had ever walked away from talks before. The carefully balanced power of the Galactic Council was already starting to crack, and the humans had no idea how much their simple act of leaving would change the future of the galaxy. News of the humans leaving the talks spread fast across the galaxy. On the Valaxian homeworld, the High Council met in an emergency meeting. The huge room with tall windows showing the 3 moons of their planet was filled with worried aliens. This has never happened before, said Supreme Counselor Vex. His blue skin looked almost white with worry. No species has ever just walked away from us. Lisa Rodriguez watched from a small side area. She was Earth's military representative to the Valaxian government. Unlike the diplomats who had left the space station, people like Lisa were still at their posts across council space. Lisa was a strong woman with dark hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her uniform was neat and clean. She had been a soldier for 15 years before this job, and she knew when she saw something important. The aliens did not seem to notice her as they argued. This was good. She could learn more when they forgot she was there. "The humans grow stronger every day," said Counselor Thax, an older Volaxian with scars on his face. "Their factories have grown 3 times bigger since we met them. They learn our technology faster than we thought possible." Lisa made notes on her small computer. She did not smile, but she felt happy inside. The aliens were worried. That meant Ambassador Grant's plan might be working. "We need to talk about the rimward expansion," said Vex to the group. "Without humans in that area of space, the whole project might fail." The room got very quiet. Lisa kept writing, but listened harder. The rimward expansion was something humans had not heard about before. "We plan to use human ships to protect the new colonies," said another counselor. "Their ships are simple but strong. They were going to be our front line against the dangers out there." "They were going to be our shield," said Thax. "Now we have no shield." Lisa almost dropped her computer. The council had never said this during the talks. They had acted like they were doing Earth a favor by letting humans join them. But really, they wanted to use human ships and soldiers as protection. "Can we offer them better terms?" asked a younger counselor. Vex shook his head. "If we change our rules for humans, other species will want the same treatment. The council has used the same rules for 5,000 years. We cannot change now." "Then we must find another way to make them return," said Thax. "Perhaps if they faced some difficulties in space? Pirates, maybe? If they feel unsafe, they will come back to us for protection." Lisa had heard enough. She quietly left the viewing area and walked quickly down the long hall to her office. She needed to send a message to Earth right away. Inside her secure room, she wrote down everything she had heard. The council was not as strong as they pretended to be. They needed humans more than they had said. And now they might even try to cause problems for Earth ships. When she finished her report, she sent it through the special communication system that the council could not read. Then she sat back in her chair and finally let herself smile. "They thought we would beg to come back," she said to herself. "They don't understand humans at all." Outside her window, the strange pink sky of the Volaxian world was getting dark. Lisa knew that on planets all across Council space, other humans like her were learning similar things. The Council was not united. Some species were already talking about making separate deals with humans. For the first time since meeting the aliens, Lisa felt that Earth might have a real chance to join the galaxy as equals, not as servants. Her computer beeped. A new message. From Earth Command. "Stay at your post. Watch carefully. Report everything. The game has just begun." 1 month after the humans left the talks, trouble started in the area of space that should have been Earth's to watch over. Captain Susan Miller stood on the bridge of her ship, the UES Dauntless. She was a tall woman with short blonde hair and eyes that missed nothing. Her blue uniform had 3 gold stripes on each sleeve. She had been a ship captain for 7 years. The Dauntless moved slowly through a field of asteroids near the star called Tau Ceti. Under the old rules, Council, ships should have been protecting this area. But after the humans walked away from the talks, those alien ships had left without saying anything. "Captain, I see something on the sensors," said Lieutenant Kevin Adams. He was young with red hair and freckles. His fingers moved quickly over the glowing screens. "It's a ship, not one of ours." Susan walked over to his station and looked at the screen. "Can you tell what kind of ship?" Kevin tapped more buttons. "It's a Valkyrian raider. They're pirates, the kind that steal from cargo ships." Susan's face got serious. The Valkyrians were known for attacking unarmed ships. They would steal anything they could find, sometimes killing entire crews. The Council had always kept them away from this area before. "They're testing us," she said quietly. "They want to see if Earth will protect its own space now that the Council ships are gone." She turned to the crew on the bridge. "Battle stations," she said in a calm voice. "Get the weapons ready. Send them one message asking them to leave." The bridge became busy as everyone moved to their battle positions. Red lights flashed on the walls. The Dauntless wasn't Earth's biggest or strongest ship, but it was well built and had good weapons. "The message is sent, Captain," said Alan Wright, the communications officer. "They're not answering." "They never do," said Susan. She had dealt with pirates before. They only understood one thing: strength. She looked at the weapons officer. "Target their engines. I don't want them destroyed if we can avoid it." "Just stopped." "Yes, Captain." Weapons locked on target. "Fire." 3 bright beams of energy shot out from the Dauntless. The pirate ship tried to turn away, but Susan had guessed which way they would go. All 3 beams hit the back of the pirate ship. Their engines stopped working. "Direct hit, Captain," said the weapons officer. "Their engines are offline." "Good," said Susan. "Now they're stuck. They can't run and they can't fight." She turned to Alan. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them, pirates are becoming more active in Sector 7. The Dauntless stopped 1 ship. We need more patrols in this area." After the message was sent, Susan looked out the big window at the front of the bridge. The pirate ship floated silently in space, its engines dark. "What do we do with them, Captain?" asked Kevin. "We wait for a prison ship to come take them away," she said, "and we keep watching. This won't be the last pirate we see." She didn't say what she was thinking, that the council might have told the pirates to come here. It would be just like them to create problems for Earth, hoping humans would come running back to the talks. If that's their plan, they don't know humans very well, she thought. What Susan didn't know was that alien watchers were recording everything that happened. The council was very interested in how Earth would handle problems without their help. And so far they were surprised by what they saw. The humans were not begging to come back, they were not afraid. Instead, they were solving problems on their own, quickly and well. In the grand meeting rooms of the council, worried voices were getting louder. Frank Winters had not slept well in weeks. His office was in the basement of a big building in Geneva, where Earth's Intelligence Directorate worked. Empty coffee cups sat on his desk next to stacks of reports. His eyes were red from looking at screens for too long. As the lead analyst for alien political affairs, Frank had been very busy since the Earth team walked out of the talks at Proxima Station. His job was to understand what the aliens were thinking and what they might do next. Frank was not a spy. He did not wear black clothes or carry weapons. He was just a smart man who was good at putting together small pieces of information to see the big picture. His brown hair was starting to go gray at the temples, and he had forgotten to shave for several days. "Frank, you need to see this," said Nicole Patterson as she walked into his office. Nicole was his assistant, a young woman with bright eyes and a quick mind. She handed him a data tablet. Frank looked at the information on the screen. His eyes got wide. "Is this correct? Are you sure?" Nicole nodded. "We checked it 3 times. It's happening just like you predicted." The screen showed reports from across council space. The Havarians and Valaxians, 2 of the most powerful alien groups, were fighting with each other over who could use the space that would have been given to humans. 3 other alien species were threatening to leave the council if they didn't get what they wanted. "The council isn't as strong as they wanted us to think," Frank said. He pulled up another screen that showed trade numbers. "Look at this. Council aliens are buying more human goods than ever before. They can't get enough of our coffee, chocolate, music, and movies." Nicole smiled. "It seems we have things they want after all." Frank nodded. The council had always acted like they were doing Earth a favor by talking to humans, but now it looked like the aliens needed humans more than they had said. "We've also got reports from Captain Miller about the pirates," Nicole said. "The council pulled their protection ships out of our space, but our ships are handling the problem well." Frank stood up and stretched his back. He had been sitting too long. "I need to tell the president about all this. Get me the latest reports from Lisa Rodriguez on the Valaxian homeworld, and anything new from our other people in council space." Nicole went to get the information while Frank washed his face in the small bathroom near his office. As he looked in the mirror, he thought about how much had changed in just a few weeks. Before the walkout, Earth had felt small and weak compared to the ancient council. Now it seemed like the council might not be as powerful as everyone thought. The aliens had ruled space for thousands of years, but maybe their power was built on everyone believing they were strong, not on actual strength. When Nicole returned, they worked together to prepare a report for the president. Frank included all the new information: the fighting between council members, the increased trade in human goods, and the reports from Captain Miller about pirates. "The council is watching how we handle the pirates," Frank said as he finished the report. "They want to see if we'll ask them for help, but our ships are doing fine on their own." Nicole looked over the final report. "What do you think will happen next?" Frank thought for a moment. "I think some of the smaller alien groups might start talking to us directly, without going through the council. They'll want their own deals with Earth." "Is that good for us?" Nicole asked. Frank smiled for the first time in days. "It's very good. Instead of one big group telling us what to do, we'll have many smaller friends who need us as much as we need them." As they sent the report to the president's office, Frank felt hopeful. The game of galactic politics was changing, and humans were turning out to be better players than anyone had expected. In space, council ships watched Earth vessels from a distance, surprised by how well humans were managing on their own. The council had expected begging or fear or mistakes. Instead, they were seeing strength and smart decisions, and in secret rooms across the galaxy, worried council leaders were starting to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake. The Grand Council chamber on Proxima Station had never been so noisy. What started as an emergency meeting about the human problem had turned into a shouting match between alien groups. Ambassador Zool of the Valaxians pointed a long, thin finger at the Havarian group. "Your ships have been seen in mining areas that are not yours. Those areas were meant for humans before they left the talks." The Havarian leader, a large insect-like being named Krill, clicked his mouthparts in anger. "We broke no rules. The humans rejected council power, so those resources do not belong to anyone." From her small watching post, Special Envoy Patricia Ford observed with hidden pleasure. She was the only human official still on Proxima Station. Earth kept her there to listen and report back, not to join the talks. Patricia was a woman with calm gray eyes and short brown hair. She wore simple clothes that helped her blend in among the aliens. She had been a diplomat for 20 years and knew how to hide her feelings. Inside, she was happy to see the council fighting, but her face showed nothing. "The council demands order," shouted the ancient Drovian moderator, a rock-like alien older than most human nations. His voice boomed through the chamber. "This fighting is below the honor of this group." But order did not return. The council had maintained power for thousands of years because all species wanted to join and followed its rules. Humans saying no had introduced something new, and the system was breaking down. Patricia made careful notes as she watched old friendships between alien species begin to crack. 3 smaller alien groups had already talked to her privately about making direct deals with Earth. The foundation of the council was starting to break. "If the Valaxians claim the mining rights in Sector 7, we will withdraw from the Mutual Defense Treaty," threatened the leader of the Zintaran delegation, a furry being with 6 eyes. "You would not dare," gasped Zool. "That treaty has stood for 700 years. "Watch us," said the Zintaran coldly. Patricia sent a quick message to Earth using her small communication device. The president needed to know how bad things were getting. Later that day, Patricia was walking back to her quarters when an alien stepped out of the shadows. It was a brill, a small species known for trading information. This one had pale green skin and large blinking eyes. "Human," it whispered. "I have message for you." Patricia looked around to make sure they were alone. "What message?" "My government wishes to talk, just with Earth, no council." The brill looked nervous. "We need certain minerals. You need protective shields for your ships. We can trade." Patricia kept her face calm, but this was important news. The brill were known for their advanced shield technology. Earth ships could use better shields. "I will pass your message to my government," she said. The brill nodded and slipped away. Back in her room, Patricia sent another secure message to Earth. This was the 4th secret offer from an alien species this week. The council was supposed to control all trade between planets, but now everyone was trying to make their own deals. On her screen, she could see the council meeting was still going on. Now 2 delegates were standing nose to nose shouting at each other. Others were leaving the room in anger. 5,000 years of unity, she thought, and we broke it by simply walking away. She had not expected this to happen when Ambassador Grant led the human team out of the talks. She had thought the council would just find another species to push around. Instead, the whole system of power in the galaxy was changing. Her computer beeped. A message from Earth. Continue watching, report all offers. Say yes to nothing yet. The President is preparing our next move. Patricia smiled. Earth was no longer just reacting to the council. Now Earth was making plans of its own. Outside her window, the stars looked the same as always. But the power that had ruled them for thousands of years was falling apart, piece by piece, and the humans were just getting started. President Eleanor Martinez studied the big hologram map in the White House Situation Room. Around her sat the military leaders, her closest advisors, and Ambassador William Grant, who had been called back from Proxima Station but was still Earth's top diplomat. So their unity was mostly for show, she said, watching the colored lights that showed how alien alliances were breaking apart. William nodded. They've ruled by agreement for so long, they've forgotten how to handle real disagreement. Eleanor was a tall woman with dark skin and black hair streaked with silver. She had been president for 3 years. Before that, she had been a scientist. She liked to understand problems before making decisions. And our position? She asked, turning to George Harrison, the defense secretary. Getting stronger every day, Madam President, he said. George was an older man with a serious face. Our quick response fleet is fully working. We've stopped 16 attacks on our claimed space, and our new shield technology works well against all weapons we've seen. Eleanor turned to Maria Wilson, her chief advisor on trade. And how is business going? Maria smiled. Very good. Even though official talks are stopped, unofficial trade has gone up 400%. Council aliens love Earth goods, and now they're paying high prices through independent traders. Around the table sat other important people, the head of Earth's space fleet, the chief of intelligence, and experts on alien cultures. All had been working day and night since the walkout at Proxima Station. The question, Eleanor said, is, when do we go back to the table and what do we ask for? William Grant's face was firm. We go back when they're ready to talk to us as equals, not as bosses. And based on my sources, that time is coming faster than anyone expected. Eleanor looked at the hologram again. It showed Earth ships protecting human space, trade routes growing between Earth and alien worlds, and the fracturing council. Very well, she said. Prepare a complete plan for a new kind of treaty, one that protects our freedom while offering real friendship. It's time to show the galaxy what working with humans really means. After the meeting, William walked with Eleanor to her office. They had been friends for many years, since before either had their current jobs. Do you think they'll really change? Eleanor asked when they were alone. The council has ruled for 5,000 years. Will they really treat us as equals? William looked out the window at the Washington Monument in the distance. They don't have much choice. Their power was always based on everyone believing they were all powerful. We showed that's not true. By simply walking away, Eleanor said, with a small smile. Sometimes the strongest move is to leave the table, William said. My grandmother taught me that. Eleanor laughed. Your grandmother was a wise woman. She sat at her desk and looked at the latest reports. Earth ships were doing well against pirates, trade was growing, and most importantly, several council species had sent secret messages asking for private talks with humans. We need to be careful, she said. The council is still dangerous. They have weapons and technology we don't understand. William nodded. That's why we don't rush back. We let them come to us on our terms. And if they don't? Then we continue on our own, William said. We've proven we can. And we keep making friends with individual species who want to work with us. Eleanor signed the order authorizing William to prepare the new treaty plan. It would be ready when the time was right. As William left her office, Eleanor looked at a picture on her desk. It showed the first human faster-than-light ship, the one that had met aliens 5 years ago. Back then, everyone on Earth had been so excited, so hopeful. Then they learned the Council saw humans as primitive, useful only as workers and soldiers. "We deserve better," she said to herself. "And we're going to get it." Across the Galaxy Council, leaders were meeting in secret, trying to find a way to bring humans back without losing face. But they were running out of time, and they knew it. The humans had changed the rules of a game that had been played the same way for thousands of years. And no one knew what would happen next. The Galactic Council's emergency meeting had gone on for 14 days without stopping. The beautiful room, meant for calm talks and nice ceremonies, now looked like a battlefield of angry words and threats. "This is your last chance," growled the Havarian representative to the other aliens. "Either you support our claim to the disputed areas, or we will make our own deals with the humans." "Traitor!" shouted the Valaxian diplomat. "You would break 5,000 years of unity for quick gain?" From his private ship orbiting Proxima station, Jack Daniels, Earth's new special negotiator, watched the meeting on a secure screen. Jack was an older man with white hair and dark skin. He had worked as a diplomat in Earth's most difficult regions for 30 years. The president had picked him for his calm mind and clever thinking. "It's time," he said to his aide, Olivia Jones. "Send the message." Olivia nodded and sent the carefully written message that would go to every council member species at the same time. On the station below, alien helpers ran into the meeting room, bringing tablets and whispering urgently to their leaders. One by one, the arguing voices got quiet as they read Earth's message. "They're offering separate deals to each of us," the old Drovian moderator finally said, breaking the silence. "Trade agreements, security help, technology sharing, made to fit each of our needs." "This is the end of the Council as we know it," whispered the Valaxian representative, her clear wings shaking. In that moment, the balance of power in the galaxy changed forever. On his ship, Jack watched the aliens' reactions on the screen. Some looked angry, some looked scared, and some looked interested. "Do you think they'll accept our offers?" Olivia asked. She was young and new to space diplomacy. "Some will, some won't," Jack said. "But that's not the point. The point is to show them they have a choice. They don't have to follow the Council's rules anymore." Olivia looked at the data showing which species were most likely to accept Earth's offers. "The Brill will say yes first," she said. "They need our minerals badly." Jack nodded. "And the Zintarans. They've never liked Council control of trade. Roots." As they talked, the first responses began coming in. 3 smaller species had already sent messages saying they wanted to discuss Earth's offers. Jack smiled. The president's plan was working even better than expected. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, the fighting had gotten worse. "The humans are trying to destroy us," shouted Zul of the Valaxians. "Can't you see? They're turning us against each other." "Perhaps," said Krill of the Havarians, "they are simply offering us what the council never did. Freedom to choose." "Freedom?" Zul laughed. "They are young and dangerous. Without the council's rules, there will be war and chaos." But even as she spoke, more alien representatives were quietly leaving the room to contact their homeworlds about Earth's offers. On his ship, Jack received a secure message from President Martinez. "Well done. Phase 1 complete. Prepare for direct talks with accepting species." Jack looked out his window at the stars. He had seen many conflicts on Earth resolved when people were given better choices. Now the same thing was happening on a galactic scale. The Council ruled through fear. He told Olivia, "They made everyone believe the galaxy would fall apart without their control. We're showing that there's another way." "But will they fight back?" she asked. "They still have powerful weapons." Jack nodded. "They might, but fighting would show everyone that they rule by force, not by agreement. I don't think they'll risk that." Below them, the council meeting was ending in disorder. The great chamber that had seen 5,000 years of controlled debate was now empty, except for a few die-hard supporters of the old ways. And across the galaxy, alien leaders were reading Earth's offers and thinking about a new kind of future. One where they could make their own choices, build their own alliances and deal with humans as equals. The age of the Council was ending, and no one knew exactly what would come next, but Earth was ready. The Grand Hall of Nations in Geneva had been made bigger twice to fit everyone for this special day. 1 year ago, Earth had sent a small group to Proxima Station. Now, leaders from 27 alien species filled the historic building to sign the Sol Accords. William Grant, now with the new title of Secretary of Galactic Affairs, stood at the front of the room. He spoke to the aliens and to the billions of humans watching on screens around the world. 1 year ago, we made the hard choice to walk away from talks that would have limited our freedom and our future, he began. His voice was calm but strong. Today we welcome our space neighbors not as our bosses, but as equal partners in a new plan for working together. In the crowd, Ambassador Zool of the Valaxians sat stiffly next to leaders of species that had once been united under Council rule. The old Galactic Council still existed in name, but its power had been completely changed. The Sol Accords are built on mutual respect, William continued. They recognize what each civilization can offer while setting clear rules for trade, safety, and science sharing. Behind William stood President Eleanor Martinez and the team that had carried out Earth's brave plan. Susan Miller, now Fleet Admiral, represented the military strength that had protected human space. Frank Winters had built the intelligence network that gave Earth its critical advantage, and many others had played important parts in humanity's rise to a top place in the galaxy. Jack Daniels sat in the front row watching his work come to life. The special deals he had offered to individual alien species had grown into this larger agreement. Beside him, Patricia Ford, the observer who had watched the Council fall apart, smiled with quiet pride. "We did not try to break the old system," William said to the crowd. "We simply asked for the right to make our own choices. When we did that, we found that many of our galactic neighbors wanted the same thing. Today marks not an end, but a beginning. The first chapter in a more fair and successful future for all thinking beings." As everyone stood up and clapped, the truth was clear. By having the courage to walk away, humanity had changed the path of galactic history and found its rightful place among the stars. Later that night, after the signing ceremony, William stood with Eleanor on the balcony of the building. Below, them, humans and aliens mixed together at the celebration. "Did you ever think it would turn out this way?" Eleanor asked. "When you walked out of that room on Proxima Station?" William smiled. "I hoped, but I wasn't sure. I just knew we couldn't accept their terms. We had to stand up for ourselves even if it meant standing alone. And now we have more friends than ever," Eleanor said, looking at the aliens and humans, talking and laughing together. "That's the funny thing about respect," William said. "When you respect yourself enough to say no to bad deals, others start to respect you too." In the sky above Geneva, ships from a dozen worlds flew in formation, their lights bright against the dark. They were there to honor the Sol Accords and the new age of galactic cooperation. Among them flew the Dauntless, Captain Susan Miller's ship that had faced down the first pirates, and beside it flew ships from worlds that had once been Earth's enemies but were now partners. The Council's emergency meeting was still going on at Proxima Station, but fewer species attended each day. The power that had ruled for 5,000 years was fading away, replaced by something new and better. Not far from William and Eleanor, a young Valaxian diplomat was talking with a human scientist about a joint research project. A Havarian trader was making deals with an Earth businessman. A Brill engineer was showing a human how their shield technology worked. "This is just the beginning," William said, looking up at the stars. "There's so much we can do together, as equals." Eleanor nodded. "And it all started because we were brave enough to walk away." In the years that followed, the story would be told many times, how humans had changed the galaxy not with weapons or threats, but by simply standing up for themselves and offering a better way. It was a lesson the old Council had never understood, but one that humans knew well. True strength isn't about forcing others to follow. It's about having the courage to walk your own path and inviting others to join you as equals. And the galaxy was better for it.